In the crime-fighting justice system, spandex-based escapades are considered especially famous. Insert generic name city. These dedicated vigilantes who investigate these malicious phonies are members of an elite squad known as the Power Rangers. These are their stories. The assemble of mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I don't recall the first time I watched the show. In fact, my earliest memory is at a theme park when I was 2. Still fresh, still commemorative. But I couldn't leave Mighty Morphin out of this video. I love the idea of 5 empowered friends sharing their lives together, looking to the future as they navigate high school. Initially, when recruited, Zordon kindly introduces and acknowledges their strengths, showing why they are the ideal group to accept the Dino Bucklers. Initially, they're weirded out, and I don't think the fans felt any different at this point 30 years ago. Power Rangers was a whole new idea to the American shores. Sure, Super Sentai had gone on since 1975, but most kids were into cartoons, let alone a live-action show of teenage empowered superheroes. This was new, fresh, ahead of its time. It became a hit overnight. It's always been a part of my life, and that's no different for any Power Rangers fan. The simple recruitment of being weirded out, introduced to this new idea of fighting a space sorceress. I don't know how I'd feel, but as a viewer, seeing it for my first time, I'd experience the fear, the resentment, and just the overall quirkiness of 5 teenagers donning dinosaur-like motorcycle helmets, fighting a space wizard who can't speak English. By the way, hot take coming in 3, 2, 1. Mighty Morphin was the best season until 1998. Out of the shadows and into a new millennium, Lightspeed Rescue brought the public eye onto the Ranger identities. Comparable to Mighty Morphin, Zordon viewing the quality of the team he recruited. When Mariner Bay came under attack by the demons, Lightspeed Rescue enacted the first recruitment of a Ranger team. 5 individuals from different backgrounds who don't even know each other, coming together to protect their home. Continuing what Space started in 1998, Lightspeed Rescue focused heavily on its story, much less of a monster of the week formula, going in depth with each of its characters, while these Rangers learn the new landscape of their assigned duties. It's an extensive challenge, working with people you don't know, ones you've just met, and forced into defending against demonic forces. The responsibility is immense, which is exactly why Lightspeed Rescue knew ahead of time these 5 were the perfect candidates. This is so needlessly superfluous. If I was Saban, I would drop 5 random teenagers into Baby Park, making Rangers of the remains. I debut the Blue Turtle Ranger. Already silver? Let's not ruin a metallic flare. Having no life? Therefore, you are ideal as the Black Death Ranger. Good luck fitting that in a helmet. A suit that accommodates pigtails. You're hired. As a Ranger fan, I never thought Samurai would land into my favorites for Team Assembly. It wasn't even the first episode to air, but Origin shows 5 new teenagers with different backgrounds, awaiting the day they will assemble to defend against the Nylok. Even Master Xandred could not speculate the force he'd be dealing with. Put it bluntly, when the 5 meet, it's almost like, who are you, who are we? Their identities are foreign to each other, but their fate could not be more clear. Seeing the coordination rising up to the occasion. When Xandred brought in a new breed of Nylok, the Rangers retaliate with their first group morph. Samurai is comparable to a heart rate. There are moments without flair, only to pulsate in rejuvenation. Much to love about the series alone. I honestly wish we could have gotten more. I still wish there was a redemption arc of Decker and Dayu as well, but as the first Power Ranger series, filmed in HD, there's no disappointment there. Even with a mixed array of quality, it's gorgeous on the exterior. What better way to commemorate the assembly of a new team than the Dino Gems choosing their new heralds, empowered by the first Secret Ranger himself. Much like the Mighty Morphin team, Connor, Ethan, and Kira have much resentment and hesitance toward the task of becoming Rangers in a whole new generation. They only learn of Dr. O's identity once he's captured, but by refraining from revealing himself as the original Green Ranger, this allows the trio to reflect on the responsibility they've taken. They're in a position in the same fashion of his original team. But now that I think about it, if he had initially revealed his identity as Tommy Oliver, they wouldn't have felt the same pressure, the fear of taking on Lord Mezagot. They would have foolishly felt invincible because of who he is, with the veteran ranger supporting them. This new paleontologist professor simply says he believes in them, presenting the Dino Morphers, even with him being right. There's no motivation there from a guy they've only known a few days. But facing their hesitance on donning the Ranger armor, they build up the courage and the discipline every Ranger needs to have. But upon discovering they are learning from the best, the meaning of belief hits far harder. A thundering magnitude. From the very beginning, they had nothing to fear. He saw their potential, and now Tommy Oliver's faith solidifies their roles as the new Rangers. Now where should I land my #1 team assemble? I've gone through the 3 decades, looking into the origins of each Ranger team, finding my favorites, even omitting the introduction of the 6th or Secret Ranger in each season. I want to choose a Ranger ensemble that feels randomized but empowered by fate. A subtle yet converging recruitment. The thing is, various Ranger teams know each other beforehand, seeing the compatibility, seeing the relationships they share, the lives they interact through. But what about a team that knows nothing of the strife of evil? One that doesn't acknowledge the danger they're in. Faced with this instantaneous threat, it's a moment of reflection for each member. And that is why my #1 Ranger team assemble is Lost Galaxy. This season reigns high ever since I witnessed the opening 2 episodes. I absolutely adore how it flows together. We begin with a stowaway, a brief interaction of 2 military individuals heading into space as well, followed by the stowaway being discovered by his own brother, also on board. Then, upon being separated from the team, Kai ventures to the Astromega ship, only to encounter Damon, the museum's mechanic. They fly to Marinoi to save Leo, his brother, and Kendricks, which also happens to be the home of Maya. These 6, yes, not 5, these 6 come together and pull the mystical Quasar Sabers. It's absolute fate. They did not plan this, they all followed their instinct. This entire sequence of events converged into the Galaxy Rangers forming the team for the first time. Mike was lost to the subterranean nethers, but we couldn't have guessed that he would become the Magna Defender. This was all a premonition. Here is why Lost Galaxy reigns as my favorite assemble. Everything comes together in a perfect sequence. It's absolutely ingenious. Before or since, I have not clicked with a team's formation at such an instantaneous level. It's difficult to write branching paths into one destination, but Saban did it, nailing it in this 2-part origin story. Thank you for joining this escapade of an endeavor right here on Rated Exploited. I vastly appreciate the record numbers of last week's video. Never before have I passed 1,000 views in 22 hours. So thank you for your views. Your subscriptions are an open-armed welcome. I primarily do Bionicle content, but I don't restrict this channel to one subject alone. So I'm here to celebrate. Forever your fellow gamer. Salute the shrine. And may the power protect you.